Hello everybody and welcome back to the Europe Park, part 18. Here we have part 2 of the Loch Ness Monster project. Now in part 1 of this project, I didn't really talk a whole lot about what I was building, but I will this time. So I have the layout of the coaster complete. It's a hyper coaster. And if need be, I'll slightly change the layout. I have done that already a few times because I just ran into a few situations where parts of the coaster needed to be moved. So the station kind of starts out in a weird spot, but I did eventually make it work. It was kind of in the way with the water, like the island dueling dragons area and the water on the other side. But yeah, I got it to work. It was just, I don't know, it seemed pretty tough at first, but as I kept working, I was like, oh, this is working well, I guess. You'll see me work a bunch near the station and the coaster later in the episode. Actually, I think I'm starting it right now here. Now, I really envisioned this ride having some helices and wide turns around some small rocky islands. I really like the look of it. This coaster starts off with a few steep drops or hills, I should say. I feel like that's important to have with a hyper coaster. And then a huge chunk of the coaster just towards the middle is when I have the weave through small islands type of thing. Then another big hill, I guess, and then it goes underground for a bit. Actually, no, I ended up changing the layout and it doesn't go underground. And then the waterfall here, the big one, like I said last episode, heavily inspired by the Victoria Falls scenario in the Wacky Worlds section. They have a beautiful waterfall. Loved the look of it. So I sort of copied it. While still putting my own style to it. I added some river rapids on the bottom of the waterfall to give the illusion that it's splashing when the water comes down. I see this everywhere. It's pretty common strategy. Another thing that's quite common is making the vertical edge, I think that's what you call it, just the vertical edge, the ice texture where the waterfall is, where the waterfall is, to give the illusion that there's more water. If you haven't heard about these two strategies, I recommend trying them out. It really makes the waterfall pop out more and makes it more realistic. What else? One thing that I did with the waterfall that I've never done before was make it curvy. I noticed that they did this with the Victoria Falls scenario, but it surprisingly turned out really well. I thought it, with the unit tiles in this game, you know, trying to curve the waterfall would make it kind of odd because of the boxiness, if that makes sense. But it looks pretty darn good, I think. I'm sure there's custom stuff out there like diagonal waterfalls. I think I even have some in the diagonal land pieces and whatnot, but I think I actually do have them in my collection. But I'm trying to avoid swapping out scenery for this collaboration. I've done it once before, but I'm gonna try to avoid it now. Now, as for the coaster, I did struggle with this a bit. It was weird. Like I said, I kept changing the layout of the coaster because it just wasn't right, and I ran into a few situations and stuff. Then I had my dream layout. Started the islands. I actually did that. Ooh, I just bumped my mic. I do this often. What was I saying? I made the islands, and I actually did that for the last episode. Then I took a look at the ratings and find out, whoops, my intensity was like 11.4 or something like that for the intensity. And as you guys know, the guests will not ride a coaster if it's that high. I think it's like 10 intensity or more, and then like maybe just a handful of guests, but you know, you want to make sure you have that intensity under 10. But realistic wise, I didn't want 11.4 intensity. Now, I was looking at the coaster forever. I couldn't find out what the problem was. I even went to the vertical G's, which I'm not that intelligent when it comes to the max vertical, positive, negative, lateral G's or whatever. But I just noticed that the vertical G's were red, which means danger to extreme. I found out where the problem was, but I couldn't, it didn't look like it was too intense at all. It was, the part after the second hill, on the way down, it had a turn as it was going down, and apparently it was just too fast, I guess. So I did end up completely changing the layout. I mean, the first part's pretty similar. I did remove the little rocky hills, and I didn't record that part, so you'll see a jump, just a random jump from like something totally different, because I just knew I was gonna mess around with the layout forever. So, and I didn't think that was worth recording. You know, I think the main part that should be recorded is like the terraforming scenery part, not so much the layout, but it did take me quite a while. And after I changed the layout a bit, I still had 11 intensity, 11, and I, you know, for sure thought it was okay. So what I did was add some brakes right before the first drop. It was like in between the chain lift. I have the chain lift, and then I have a curve, and then I have the first drop, and that's where I put just a brake to slow down the coaster a little bit. I slowed it down literally a couple miles per hour, tested it, and it went just the slightest bit slower throughout the coaster. And the ratings for the intensity dropped from the original 11 to 6.74, and I was like, what the heck happened? I'm not sure if it was a glitch or if it was just truly too intense, and then just slowing it down that much actually made a difference. I don't know, something. But if you want to see for yourself, once this park is completed, we will have the download, you know, when it's fully complete. That'll still take a while. And then you can see for yourself. You can simply remove the brakes before the first drop and see for yourself. But it was just odd. But anyway, coaster is good now. I mean, 6.74 intensity, that's really low now. Coaster's good. Added some little hills in the helices and whatnot. Worked on the station. Lots more terraforming, landscaping, water, a little bit of waterfalls. Played more with texture, and then finally foliage. I just couldn't wait to do the foliage because it really makes a huge difference. It was just so bland and boring without it. And I'm very happy with the results. Sorry, I was having a brain fart. Hope you guys like it too. I think I will start a France section next episode, maybe not. What else? I don't know, maybe Italy. I kind of have an idea for Italy as well, but I have no idea. So subscribe if you enjoyed. Like this video. Comment anything you want. Feedback, positive, negative, criticisms, or just saying hi, whatever. All links to the collaborators channels, Discord link, playlist of the series will all be in the description below. And I will see you all next time.